So this is Jose Covarrubias talking about JavaBeans. This is CIT 360 Group 3. And I gathered a couple of quotes from different sources that talked about about JavaBeans. My first quote is from netbeans.org, and it says, JavaBeans is really nothing more than a Java class with some special patterns or helper classes. And those are integrated with every time you use the tools for the classes on JavaBeans, or to be redundant, and NetBeans, this software code application. And those classes on JavaBeans help you to separate code that they can be reused for different applications. Here it says that JavaBeans a JavaBeans property is a named attribute that can be accessed by the user or of the object. The attribute can be of any Java data type, including classes that you define. A JavaBeans property might be read, write, read-only, or write-only. So they function differently or combined as depending on what your needs are. What distinguish JavaBeans from other classes is the getter and the setter. This is what really sets the difference. And as you can see here on the table, this method is used to read data. So if something's already stored on in a database or in a Java class, the getter will read it from you for you. The setter will do the opposite. It will write it for you. It would store the data back into a database or a class. And I want to show that here. Yes. Here I have my main class is called JavaBeans sample, and here I have three different exercises. The first one is it's the class instance of the bean sample. The bean sample has what will make this project the JavaBeans. It has its setters and getters and setters. And what you do with this classes is that you declare the variables at the beginning. You can use whatever you want, strings, integers, booleans, as you can see here. And what's interesting with this is that NetBeans has a really nice tool that when you create your variables, you don't have to type all this by yourself. You can do it, although it's very simple, but it's even simpler when you right click on it and then do insert code, and you tell it to insert the getters and setters. They do not show up right here because they're already on the class. If I was to, let's say, I want to comment all this out, I'll highlight it and do command backslash, it's a forward slash, I think it's forward slash, and it will comment everything out. And then here I'll go again and insert the code, and now it gives me the option. Oh, it went down over here. Insert code, getter and setter, and it will do it for me automatically. You just select everything that you wanna get those JavaBeans tools created, generate, and it generates it for you. As simple as that. Alright, I'll just undo that. Alright, there you go. So then, if I go back to my main class, I instantiate the JavaBeans class and store it in this variable, and I start setting or sending the data that I want on my class to be stored. That's why you use the set your name, set your age, set, you're amazing. So it will send those values and store them here on the class. Then if I want to get them out, and then I use the getter for that. And if I run the class, this is what you get. Okay. All right, here's my first sample here that we have here, and then here's this second one. With one of the things that is handy about JavaBeans is that because you have this class that is set up in a way that you can reuse it, you don't have to type all this every time you want to instantiate a new class. So I reuse the same class here, and I print this other subject. And also, because here it's very this is a very straightforward code here that I'm sending the values right away. You can also get them from the user as an input. All you have to do is use the scanner and get it to a variable, and then move that as an argument on the parentheses when you set your JavaBeans code. So this is something what it looks like. So it's calling the instantiate the class, get it like create a new class again. The variable here, setting the value, and because I have the scanner here asking for the name, say here, let's say then, and then it calls the class and store it, and then when you recall or request the data with the getter, then you can use it for whatever you want. So in my case, I use it to welcome the user, to get his name, and then transfer it to uppercase. This is what happened here. And then another great tool from JavaBeans, or what makes JavaBeans a great tool to code, is that it has this try and catch tool that warns you when your code or the input data is not valid. So in this case, I'm asking you for age. So I'm asking for an integer. If the user enters something different, then this try and catch statement will help you identify the error. So in this case, print me this because I'm asking for an integer, not text. So that's what makes JavaBeans. They're very straightforward. So if you want to make a JavaBeans, make sure that you create a class that has a getter and setter to be reused as you move on your program or your application, and it can be reused as many times as you want. As you can see here, I use it 3 different times, and I only had to type it once. So it's very handy, I believe. Any questions?
So are those basically like functions and procedures?
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So once you get the setter and getter, you can send the data and then reuse it somewhere else. For example, on my application that I'm building for the class, I have this other code. This is my main class, and this is for the shopping cart that I call the app. I forgot. I forgot the milk. I forgot the tortillas or whatever. And when I go to grocery shopping, and so this main class calls my control. This is talking about the MVC actually. Jumping into a different topic, but I call my control class, and my control class gets the input from me on this code right here. Actually, let me run it for you really quick. Any other questions before I do this?
Well, what you're doing is MVC, even on that last one that you did with the JavaBeans.
Yes.
That was a form of MVC too, isn't it?
Actually, yes, because this would be considered this bean sample class with the getter
Would
and
be a
setter will be
controller.
considered the model.
Yep.
The model stores the data. So in this other one, when I call this other class, it gets my input from here, and then it passes that input into the model. And then the model has the getters and setters, and it stores everything in there. And then the control invokes the view class here, and then the view class will display whatever I enter on the control model for me. So it's like so there are three separate classes that help you distribute the code. So it does make it a little simpler. It's just one function calling the other one and then passing the data to one another.
Yep. Cool.
Any questions, Cassandra?
I don't think so. It actually cleared up your try and catch actually cleared up some issues I was having.
Oh,
Yeah. So
good. Oh, hold on. This we talking about things like we always get something from each other. So in this case, when I run, there's only one thing that I'm still trying to figure out with my project for the final project. When I don't know if you guys can help me. I'll actually stop this.